Well, hello everybody. This is going to be my last video today. It's August 5th, 2022, and I just wanted to show I'm calling it my hydrangea border because there's so many hydrangeas in it. But this is the border that runs on the front of my house. It was just planted a couple months ago. Well, I started it a few months ago, and I've been adding plants literally like every week. So, Anyway, everything's been planted this season, so it's all very new, very beginning. All right, so we have a Bobo hydrangea. That little teeny one back there is a ruby hydrangea. Pink is Stilby. This fern is, I'm calling it a man fern. I forget what the actual name was, but it was something like that. It was like masculine fern or robust fern or something, but I'm calling it man fern. It's supposed to get very big, like 4 or 5 feet. I've got some Oriental Lilies here. A couple of them are the double variety, or they're supposed to be. They haven't bloomed yet. And then that one on the back left is a single, I believe. This little hydrangea is Spirit 2. Mensabel Spirit 2. This hydrangea here is Vanilla Strawberry. Sorry, I'm struggling with all the names of everything. Like I said, I've planted so much that it's hard to keep up with what I planted sometimes. And these plants that you're seeing struggling, that's because almost everything that I bought was on clearance. So they have hardly any leaves. But they do have new growth coming on, so I'm not too worried. This one right here, Tiny Tortuga. Oh, the other thing I should mention about this garden is the color palette I was going for is like pink and white. So when everything finally starts blooming, it should all be in shades of pink and white. And then as far as the foliage, I tried to mix in some darker foliage things. Like this right here is a perennial hosta. I forget the name of it, but it should have like hot pink flowers. And as you can see, the foliage just kind of got that darker maroon coloring. This is a Florida Weigela. It's got a couple blooms on it, but I don't really think it's the season for it to bloom. Has a variegated foliage. Back there, I have some Siberian iris planted. Doesn't look like much this year, but this should be a really pretty multiple shades of pink. And I like the grassy texture as well. It should get about 2 to 3 feet tall, I think, and kind of fill in that corner back there. I might have to relocate that because this hibiscus, did I call that a hydrangea earlier? This hibiscus right here is going to get pretty big eventually. The reason I planted these things where they are, though, is because of that water downspout. So this ground will stay moister than other areas in this garden. All right, this hydrangea back here is a lace cap, arborescens lace cap. I think it's going to have like a pinkish lavender type of flower. This is another Invincibel Spirit 2. This one is another Bobo. This is like a drift rose. I think that's just what it was called, drift rose. That is supposed to be a climbing new dawn rose. I haven't seen it bloom. It hasn't done well this year. It's kind of getting eaten up by bugs. I just bought some neem oil, but I haven't sprayed it yet. This one I just planted is windflower. I don't see the tag, but it's supposed to get about 18 inches tall and have pink flowers with like a yellow center. This sad little guy under my basket here is a Tiny Wine 9-bark, and I don't know if you can tell with my shadow there, most of the leaves almost completely died within a day or two of it being planted. We've just been having intense heat waves here, and I covered it with this basket, and now there's new green growth. So very happy about that. I also planted this grass. This was not here. And eventually I'm going to have to move one of those because they're too close together. But I wanted to give something else for it to kind of provide some shade. And so I found this grass on clearance and I just tucked it in right there, at least for the time being. Plus, I need some grass in this garden. This particular border doesn't really have any. This is another Invincible Spirit 2. This one is another Arborescence Lace Cap. Another Drift Rose. Here's a new Dawn Rose, Climbing Rose, that's actually doing well. Although I'm questioning it if it's actually New Dawn, because I thought they were supposed to be a lighter pink, kind of almost a white. Like this color is closer to what I was expecting, but I mean, I like this, but I wasn't really going for this orangey color in this bed. So maybe it was mislabeled. Not really sure. I have a Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangea here. This is another hibiscus. This one I think is called Pink Swirl. And I've got another vanilla strawberry hydrangea. An enormous clump of hollyhock that has not bloomed for me. What the heck? I don't know. My first time growing hollyhock, so I'm not sure. And then I've got some more, my mind's going blank. Irises. No, not iris. Lilies. Oriental lilies here. This is a black lace elderberry, which does not have any dark coloring yet. And I think right after I planted it, some deer came and munched on it because it's definitely looking munched on. And my neighbors told me that there was deer in here eating my plants, so that's upsetting. A little bit of sedum here. This edge is a little further away from the drip line, and I'm hoping that this is kind of a dry enough spot that it'll do well there. Another Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangea, and that one right there is another Arborescence Lace Cap hydrangea. So, next year, this garden should look a lot more full. Right now they're all tiny plants, but we're going for lots of pink and varying shades of pink, and then white blooms. All right, thank you everybody. This was my August 5th, 2022 garden tour.